Hey guys, welcome back to I'm Just a Fan. It's your host, Ben. And as of 10/14/25, so October 14th, 2025, for the first time since 2019, 6 weeks in, the New England Patriots lead the AFC East, not the Buffalo Bills. And I really wanted to talk about this. I thought that this was so interesting. It's a wrinkle that we're going to have to look at the rest of this season. It was something that the media was talking about as well. And I actually was kind of pushing against. But again, I want to give credit to New England and just discuss this because even if I didn't see it, everyone else did. And I think they're showing us right now that they are in a very big transition period within their franchise, and this has one of the potential years to really get them going and get them back to where they used to be. Like I said, I was out on the Patriots this year. And when I say out, I don't mean that I think the Patriots were going to be awful. But going into the year, I was seeing Patriots are going to be 12-5. The Patriots are going to win their division. The Patriots are going to hit their total team win over, whatever it's called, by Vegas. I think it was at 10.5. And I, in my opinion, was more just like, okay, it's not that I didn't necessarily think, that they could do that. It was just more from a fact of like what I was betting on was, okay, Vrabel's a great coach. Yes, he is. But at the same time, he's got to get his culture established. It's his first year. He's also hasn't been a head coach in a couple years. I thought that was going to play a factor. I honestly did not like the receivers that New England had given Drake Maye. I really didn't like them. Everyone was hyping up Stephon Diggs, who has been okay. He's been getting better, but I'm not going to say he's an elite receiver at this point. And you got Boutte, you got Douglas. You have a couple other options. But so far from what we've seen in the season, I've been just wrong. Number one, Drake Maye has taken a step forward. You saw some flashes last year, but man, he is really commanding this offense. He looks more in control. Some of the stuff that's really wowed me is his ability to extend plays on third down. I think of that third down extension on against Buffalo where he was almost sacked and still got the ball out and still got a first down. So he's done some very impressive stuff, and he's looked efficient as well. Yes, he's had some occasional dumb turnovers here and there, but he's really cleaned it up in the last couple of weeks, so I thought that was huge. And then again, when you look at the offense, Diggs has played better the last couple of weeks. Like I said, I didn't think much of Boutte, but man, he's starting to step up as a playmaker. And then one of his biggest helpers on offense so far has been Hunter Henry, who I've been a Hunter Henry believer. I've loved Hunter Henry since his days with the Chargers. But to see some of the stuff that he's done this year so far, it seems like Drake Maye and him really have established a very, very good connection. And again, it's only heading into Week 7. I think this is something that they can really build on. And of course, I mean, it's like one of the more typical football tropes, but a tight end is usually a young quarterback's best friend because, again, he's always there for the check down. He's always there for the safe, 5 to 6 yard route where he can just hit him, run a couple more yards. Maybe it's a first down. He's always going to be there for the quarterback. So it all makes sense. And even then, New England is still looking this good on offense. And we're not even factoring in that, they've had some fumble issues with Ramondre Stevenson. Imagine if he didn't fumble as much. We'll see if Henderson is going to continue to potentially get more work. I know they've still been leaning more Stevenson's way. We'll see if that changes. But I was really banking on, again, just the fact that I did not think this New England offense had enough talent. I didn't think Drake Maye was going to take this big of a step. And I didn't think that Vrabel was going to be able to establish this level of culture so early on into the season. I mean, if you would have told me that the Patriots were 4-2 and that they had also beaten the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo on a Sunday night game, I would have said absolutely not. But yet here we are, and I just have to give the Patriots credit. I didn't see it, but a lot of other people did. But still, congratulations to where they are at right now. And I'm curious to see, how does this division look within the next really couple weeks? I did this based off of the next 6 weeks. So if we look at the New England Patriots schedule first, again, they are 4-2 as of this recording. We look at their next 6 games. You have Tennessee, I think that's a win. You have the Browns, I think that's a win. You have the Falcons, but that game is in New England. I think that's a win. You have Tampa Bay, who is banged up, but they are just winning football games. I'm going to go with an L there. I think that's an L. But then you have the Jets. That's a W. And then you have the Bengals. In my opinion, that's also a W. The Patriots, if they end up doing that, would only lose 1 out of 6 games. That would make them 9-3. That would make them 9-3. So they would be obviously in a very, very good position at that point of the season. But then when we look at Buffalo, I did an exercise as well with Buffalo, again, looking at their 6 games that are coming up. When you look at them, it's not as easy for them, at least in the next 6 games, compared to the New England Patriots. So we'll take a look at Buffalo's schedule right here. So in the next 6 games, Buffalo is playing the Panthers. I think that's a win. They will play the Chiefs. That one I said was an L just because, I don't know, the Chiefs are starting to gain a little bit of traction this year. They're starting to get it together. But again, that could be really a toss-up game because Buffalo does usually beat them in the regular season. They will then play the Miami Dolphins. I think that's a W. They're going to play the Bucs. I'm going to actually say that as an L. That one could also go either way, but I'm going to go an L. They'll play the Texans. I think that's a W. And then they'll play the Steelers, which I never thought I'd say could actually be a toss-up game. I still am leaning a win here for Buffalo, but I think that one could be a toss-up as well. So within these 6 games, I have Buffalo going 4-2 within this, and then again combining that record now with what they are now, that would make them 8-4. So after the next 6 weeks, on paper, how I see things going, I see the Patriots being 9-3, and I see the Bills being 8-4. And again, New England still has the tiebreaker against Buffalo as well. So that's a key factor in all of this. And then eventually on December 14th, these 2 teams will play against each other again. It will be a 1 o'clock game if I saw correctly, though I could see that one getting flexed. But that one will be in New England as well. So the crowd's going to be into it. They're going to have that. I just think it's a very interesting game to circle on our calendar of the NFL games this year because that one realistically is probably going to determine the AFC East. Just the way it's going. I mean, the Jets obviously they're a non-factor. They haven't won a football game. Miami is just collapsing. And then you have the Pats, and then you have the Bills. So I think we're really going to need to monitor how this goes. But on paper, again, if people stay healthy, if it goes the way I see it going, I have the Patriots being 9-3 at the end of these 6 weeks, and the Bills being 8-4, and I think they would be leading again, continuing to lead in the division. Now, I did want to preface, I don't know who is actually going to win this division. I'm still, big on the Bills. They've done this multiple years, so it's like, why doubt the Bills, But at the same time, they haven't necessarily had to deal with as much competition these last couple years. Yes, the Patriots were okay in 2021, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was 2021. But let's be honest here, that offense never scared anyone with Mac Jones. And, I mean, again, just the coaching staff, what they did there now that we know all the context, I'm surprised that they even got to the playoffs with that offense. But still, the Bills haven't really had this much adversity when it comes to a division rival in years. I mean, pretty much since the Patriots. They had to take the Patriots down to get to where they've been. And now it's kind of all coming full circle with the Pats now having to try to take the Bills down to get the division. But my biggest reason that I don't necessarily, it's not that I don't, again, think the Bills could win the division. I think the Bills could win the division. And I think maybe, honestly, they probably will. But I have some concerns. Again, it's another year of this offense just being so Josh Allen-centric. It's just Josh Allen. Josh Allen has to make some plays. Yes, you have Dalvin Cook, who's been phenomenal this year. I'm not understating what he's done. But outside of those two, who is a real threat on this team? Kincaid's been taking some strides. That's great. But after that, I'm not afraid of a single guy on this team. Khalil Shakir, he's cool, but he should not be your number one receiver. Yes, you have Dawson Knox. I'm not even worrying about Keon Coleman. I'm actually sleeping thinking about Keon Coleman. I have no worries about him. So I'm just like, okay, we're back to square one again where we've been multiple years now with this Bills offense. Or pretty much since Stephon Diggs left, they have not really accumulated the best wide receiver talent. They've tried, but it just hasn't worked. And I'm concerned on that end. Again, is it going to be too Josh Allen-centric, and is this going to either catch up with them, whether it's in the regular season or, again, in a big spot in the playoffs where you can't rely on anyone but Mr. Allen? And again, these guys are human. They're going to make mistakes. That's how it becomes a little harder to get this whole thing done because you're relying on one guy so much. And then I take a look at the defense. They're currently ranked 17th in the league, so not a bad spot to be in by any means. But when I look at this defense, I just don't see anything that really stands out. And I mean, again, I think of the performance against the Ravens. Now, again, that's fine. It's the Ravens when they're healthy. But still, that was a lot of points. I think about what they did last night. I mean, Drake London absolutely killed them last night. Bijan was running all over them. Even against the New Orleans Saints made a game in Buffalo because they were able to score on that Bills defense. Like, I just have questions about the Bills' defense, and again, that's why I think this division could be up for grabs for the first time in years because, again, not saying New England doesn't have their own weaknesses as well, but the weaknesses for the Bills are so clear. And again, when you look at it from a football perspective, it's just like, okay, this offense is very, again, it's not one-dimensional because of how good Cook is, but I just don't like that they don't have as many receivers that they can rely on. And again, on the defense, there's just not as many playmakers. Yes, there's still Ed Oliver, Matt Milano, but really that's what I think about when I go to that defense. At least New England's getting Christian Gonzalez back. I don't know how long he'll stay healthy for, but he is now back. He played on Sunday, so there's a lot of things to consider here. But I really just wanted to make this video to just see what are people thinking. Am I getting too in my head about this? Am I getting too ahead of myself? But when I saw the Bills lose last night, I was like, oh yeah, this is what we're going to be talking about. The Patriots are 4-2. They have the tiebreaker over Buffalo. Buffalo now loses. It's now the same record. I mean, man, this is a situation that, again, I don't know if I said in the beginning of the video or not, but the Pats haven't been here since 2019, Tom Brady's final year with the New England Patriots. So very, very interested to see, again, how this goes all year. I think it's going to be an interesting one to watch. I'm glad there is some now some more competition in this division. There needed to be. Not that I was getting tired of seeing Buffalo win games, but again, I love a stacked division, and I think it's going to be an interesting watch. And again, December 14th, mark that one on your calendars because that game, in my opinion, will be for the AFC East. It's going to be one to watch. So very interested to see how this whole thing goes. Definitely let me know in the comments. Do you have the Patriots winning the division? Do you have the Bills winning the division? Please, please, please let me know. And if you like this video, feel free to give it a like. If you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe. We're going to be continuing to break down the NFL all season long. And if you're interested in any of my short-term content, that will be in the description down below with my TikTok, and you can check that out if you want. And again, if you made it this far in the video, I greatly, greatly appreciate you. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace, guys.